The Survive and Thrive Advocacy Center welcomes you to Imagining Freedom 2020. This event helps provide assistance to human trafficking survivors of all ages and supports education programs throughout the Big Bend to prevent sex and labor trafficking, with a special appearance from internationally known chef Art Smith and a celebration of the Red Hills Small Farm Alliance. And now, here is your host for the program and the Executive Director of the Survive and Thrive Advocacy Center, Robin Hassler-Thompson.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Imagining Freedom 2020, now online. We've done our best from shifting from a spring event that we had in person to a fall online event now, thanks to COVID-19. We're hoping, of course, we can all be together soon. So what is Imagining Freedom? Well, this is an event that we hope will do two things for you today. First, we celebrate those in our community who are dedicated to standing with trafficking survivors and who, by their labor practices, their support of goods and services that are trafficking free, and the way they do their work raises awareness about sex and labor trafficking to help you make a difference and help this world be a better, fairer, healthier, and stronger place to be. So welcome. First, a few preliminaries. Our program is on STAC's website. You saw that info right before we began. And if you didn't, I'll give you a brief rundown of what we're going to be doing today. First, we'll hear from Judy Gagnon. She's STAC's board president and will tell you a little bit about STAC, and we'll share a tribute to a dear friend we lost last year. You'll next hear from Pastor Douglas Harris, also a STAC board member, who will answer the question, why STAC and why now? You'll hear from Carrie Roth from the Red Hills Small Farm Alliance and learn about the Frenchtown Urban Farm. The fabulous Susan Turner from Food Glorious Food will cook alongside her good friend and celebrity chef Art Smith and prepare a delicious dish made with ingredients that are slavery and trafficking free. You'll then hear from a nurse practitioner and small business owner and STAC board member Faith Moore Cruz about what you can do and how we together will end the program with action steps. And you'll also hear from one of STAC's local partners, the International Rescue Committee. Now, I'd like to tell you a little bit about STAC. First of all, STAC started in 2015. We're a small group, and we wanted to do something, and we had to. Florida is number 3 in the nation regarding human trafficking. These are calls into the national hotline. And we saw cases and learned about human trafficking here as we worked with the FSU Center for the Advancement of Human Rights. The need for STAC also grew out of what people told us at the Big Bend Coalition Against Human Trafficking. So, what is human trafficking? Simply put, it's the exploitation of one person by another for commercial gain. It's simply the buying and selling of people for their labor, for sex or for labor, simply put. Human trafficking is a crime in Florida and in the United States. And know that traffickers commit many, many more crimes in addition to this actual exploitation. They batter and abuse, they defraud, they steal wages, and more. They threaten, they intimidate, they emotionally break down and terrify their victims. They break laws dealing with workplace safety, they don't pay their taxes, and you know the picture. Essentially, they steal people's freedom. And that's why we call this event Imagining Freedom. We want to see a world where freedom is there for everyone. Freedom from abuse, from economic devastation and manipulation, and freedom from fear. This event is great because the number one way we can all end human trafficking is to become educated about it, to expose it, and to hold the perpetrators accountable. Mostly, though, we need to build a world where there is no exploitation and no trafficking. We start now with knowledge and information, so fasten your seatbelts. We'll also begin with some acknowledgments and thanks. First, I really want to thank the Red Hills Small Farm Alliance and all of the restaurants, farmers, and food purveyors who are supporting us today, and I'll say also who supported us over the last 3 years. They're truly walking the talk. Red Hills has over 90 farmers and ranchers now committed to being trafficking-free in their business and to becoming educated and aware about human trafficking. We also thank all of our sponsors, and especially want to thank Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare and the Rotary Club of Tallahassee for their generous dignity sponsorships. So again, think about human trafficking. Know that it encompasses both sex and labor exploitation. Know that traffickers force vulnerable people to work, and that work may be technically legal, like farming or housekeeping or childcare, or it may be an illegal act like prostitution or selling drugs. Know that most trafficking victims have multiple vulnerabilities that intersect. For example, I'm thinking about the domestic violence abuser who forces his wife into prostitution, or forces his wife and child to beg on the streets. I'm thinking about the immigrant who may be undocumented, but who was lured to our area after Hurricane Michael by a construction operation. The trafficker threatened him, ignored extremely serious injuries, and we were able to help him get the medical care and housing assistance he needed. I'm thinking today also about the women who crew bosses sexually harass and assault. Those women who are working in the fields by day, who are labor trafficked, but for whom sex is a condition of employment. STAC supports all these people and many more who are trafficked. And we help them to get what they need, not just to survive, but also to thrive. We do this by partnering with other agencies, great agencies like Legal Services of North Florida, the APALACHEE Center, and the Kearney Center. We work with coalitions of the faith community, and as you'll hear about later, with many in the healthcare community. Just this year, we've educated over 2,500 people since COVID-19 hit us all. We've been going online with our monthly Third Friday community trainings. You can check them out on our website. And we all need your help, so please take advantage of these opportunities. We'd also like to especially thank, by the way, all of our sponsors, and they're listed in the program and on our website. And especially, we thank you. Day to day, I work with an incredible team, and that includes Renee Starrett, Graciela Marquina, and Bianca Bilab. Of course, you've met one of our board members, or you will soon, and you'll know how great they are too. During our event today, we're going to give you links and ideas about how you can help us to build a stronger community against human trafficking. I'd like to introduce STAC Board President Judy Gagnon. She's an official court reporter for the United States District Court Northern Division of Florida and has been appointed by the Administrative Office of the United States Courts as a board member on the Court Reporting Advisory Group. She also serves as an assistant youth minister at Good Shepherd Catholic Church for Life Teen. She's a smart, dedicated, and beautiful person who carries a dedication to this issue so solidly in her heart, and we're thrilled she's our president. Judy?
Thank you, Robin. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Survive and Thrive Advocacy Center, STAC, I wish to welcome you to Imagining Freedom Online. This is an honor and a pleasure to welcome you, and for many, introduce you to the board. STAC's board is pretty great. You'll meet some of us today, and I welcome you to visit STAC's website, surviveandthriveadvocacy.org, to learn more. There are lots of educational resources, information about events, and ways you can be involved and be informed. I know this is an issue because, as a federal court reporter, I saw and heard how human traffickers would lure their victims by force, fraud, and coercion. Working together, we can educate the community, assist survivors, work together to make sure that people are aware that human traffic doesn't just happen in big cities, that it is right here at home. That is why STAC is important. I've been a member of the board for several years, and during this time, I have seen STAC grow in its scope and impact throughout this area. I have seen awareness and work around the issue of human trafficking expand. Just this year, STAC has trained over 2,000 people, and from 2019 through this year, has assisted over 30 people who were trafficked or who were of severe risk of being trafficked. And this event is a great way for you to become involved. Imagining Freedom is STAC's premier fundraiser event, and we are so very grateful to all of you for attending, to all those who donated financially, with their time, and who donated slavery-free foods. More about that to come. I'd like to especially thank our sponsors who have so generously given to make this event a success. Liberation sponsors, Susan Turner and Food Glorious Food, and our special celebrity guest, Chef Art Smith. Dignity sponsor, Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare, and all of the other sponsors listed in the program. And also to remind you that it's not too late for you to contribute. We'll put up info on how to do it, and you also can go to surviveandthriveadvocacy.org. The only way we do this work is in partnership. Every year, the reason Imagining Freedom is so fun and memorable is that many restaurants, food purveyors, and farmers have joined in, donating trafficking-free food. Red Hills Small Farm Alliance has been a wonderful partner to STAC, and we are so very grateful to them. Recently, we lost one of our Imagining Freedom supporters and Red Hills member, Rich Ponce. Rich passed away last year, and we miss him. He is survived by his wife, STAC board member, Dr. Maria Ponce, and a beautiful family. You might know the Ponce family by another name, Bumpy Road Grits, the best grits anywhere. They both have been overwhelmingly generous to STAC and the community. We'd like to thank them and Rich with this short tribute.
We grow the grits at my old home up in the mountains of North Georgia, right on the North Carolina line. In fact, some of the corn is across the line around Chunky Gal Mountain, some on the Georgia side. Okay. It's old heirloom corn that's been up there for generations, non-GMO, and I grind it and sift it. It's all hand sifted. Every bit's hand sifted. The grist mill is stone. It's a stone mill. It's called Balfour Granite, and it's mined in Austria. It will not produce any grit whatsoever in the corn, so you've got no increased kidney stone problems with it.
When his wife Maria saw this video, one of the things she said was, Rich was so proud of his grits, and for good reason. We are so happy that the tradition of those wonderful grits and Bumpy Road Farm will continue. I'd like to now introduce my fellow board member, Pastor Douglas Harris. Pastor Harris is a visionary pastor, leader, social activist, and teacher. He is committed to economic justice and empowerment in underserved communities. He has been in ministry for over 20 years and serves as the senior pastor of Midway Unity Fellowship Church in Midway, Florida. Pastor Harris recently founded STAC's Social Justice Committee, and we are thankful to him for his work and his dedication to ending human trafficking. Welcome, Pastor Harris.
Hello. When I was introduced to STAC by Robin one Saturday morning in Quincy, I must say I was blown away. with the content and the idea that human lives in the 21st century are being enslaved, used like animals, separated from their families, preyed on for their inabilities, preyed on for their lack of, so that a few can attain personal and financial gain. We're talking about trafficking of human lives, and anyone is vulnerable at any time. My heart was troubled, and an unrest arose in me that was incomprehensible. I told my wife we must do something, and there was STAC. STAC's mission to support survivors of human trafficking and to bring awareness to the community that human trafficking doesn't happen just in big cities. It is right here in our community, in Leon County, in Gaston County, and throughout North Florida. And that really caught my attention, that the small town of Quincy, my neighboring county, Leon, there and throughout North Florida, that human beings trafficking, girls and boys, men and women, are being called on to produce sex acts. They are trafficked for labor also. And I have grandchildren. As a matter of fact, I have 14 granddaughters. And I could not imagine what I would do if I lost any of them to this injustice for profit. STAC's overall goal is to address the moral underpinning, the economic injustice and injustice that underlies human trafficking, and the values STAC promote of fairness and equity, equality. As all of us are aware that COVID-19 is upon us, it, along with sex and labor trafficking, are menaces to our society. Both COVID-19 and trafficking both disproportionately affect Black communities and brown communities and all people of color, making people more vulnerable than ever, both to being trafficked and also making vulnerable to the pandemic. This is not a coincidence. This is a tragedy, as a matter of fact, and STAC is on the battlefield and we're in the fight. We at STAC are here to address trafficking and see it in a larger context of our world where people are exploited and vulnerable. We are linked with global movement to end human trafficking, and we can do the work here knowing that right now. Now, I'm fascinated with trees. I'm particularly fascinated with the redwood tree, this tremendous and powerful force I found not only grows. A redwood tree never grows alone. I researched and found out that the way this powerful individual yet inclusive tree grows is that underneath the soil, all of the roots interconnect with each other in order to grow to this powerful force. In other words, they partner with each other, they support each other, and as a result, you have this powerful, tall force to reckon with. STAC stands with partners and interconnect around this region: faith community, healthcare professional, justice systems, social services, neighborhood, businesses, because everyone has a role to play in learning more about human trafficking and knowing what to do and how to help. Because STAC knows that together we are a powerful force to be reckoned with. So what can we do to prevent trafficking and exploitation? Here it is: work together to get at the root of society's inequities, build up each other, and work for economic justice. Now, we at STAC host Imaging Freedom to highlight what we all can do to work together to connect with our farmers, businesses, and one another, and to celebrate those who are doing this work right now. Support fair labor and becoming conscious consumer, or a conscious consumer. Look here, this is what STAC is all about. Now, let me turn it back over to Robin.
Thank you so much, Pastor Harris.
Imagining Freedom will continue in just a moment, but remember, you can support our mission to help end human trafficking. Throughout this program, you can visit us online and make your contribution to the Survive and Thrive Advocacy Center. Simply visit us on the web or scan the QR code on this screen. Imagining Freedom is our annual event to help fund our educational programs throughout the year. Visit us today and help put a final end to human trafficking. You can do it right now. Now, back to the program.
I'd like to introduce you now to the Red Hills Small Farm Alliance. Red Hills has a threefold mission. They promote economic stability for small farm enterprises. They promote professional and farmer development and consumer education. And of course, they promote food access to all citizens in our area all year long. Their full statement about human trafficking is in your program, but what it essentially says is this: they are actively anti-trafficking in their businesses and in all of their labor practices, and they've pledged to work to fully educate their 90-plus members. This is the first time in our area that we've had an association make a statement like this about labor, and the first time any association has come forward with such clarity and purpose about their stand against human trafficking. It's been an honor for STAC to work with them on this, and now I'd like to introduce you to Carrie Roth, the president of the Red Hills Small Farm Alliance.
Hi, I'm Carrie Roth. I'm president of the Red Hills Small Farm Alliance. We are a nonprofit association here in Tallahassee, Florida, which is committed to helping the businesses of small farms. One of the ways that we do that is by running the Red Hills Online Market, which is an online market where you can order food from a computer or your phone, and then it is delivered to your door on every Thursday. All of our 90 producers are within a 100-mile radius of Tallahassee, so we have fruits and veggies, meats and cheeses, dairy, all kinds of things, plants, breads, enough to fill up your pantry and your refrigerator. This is a kind of a quiet time for us because when you eat local, it means that you follow the seasons. In the fall, we will have a lot more produce, but now we have a lot of great locally produced food for your choices. In considering our part of the community, several of our producers have for the last 2 years been providing the majority of the food for Imagining Freedom, the STAC fundraiser. And our alliance has gotten more and more interested in the activities of STAC. And we are proud, very proud to be a leader for the agricultural community here around Tallahassee. We have adopted a bylaw for our alliance that our producers commit to not using trafficked labor in their business practices, and we are intent on educating our producers and everybody in their supply chain about the harm of STAC.
My name is Sundiata. I am the owner here at the Frenchtown Urban Farm, and we are proud to be part of this video and a part of this movement in ensuring that child trafficking and human trafficking is something that we absolutely speak out against. The Frenchtown Urban Farm is a producer within the Red Hills Small Farm Alliance, and we are thrilled that the Farm Alliance has taken a stance and has made a statement in regards to human trafficking. So on our farm, as well as many others that produce and sell through the Small Farm Alliance, we're all proud that we have good practices, good labor practices, good wages that go towards the people who work with us and for us. And we're just excited to be a part of this movement, and anything that we can do as a small operation to assist and promote the awareness of human trafficking, we are absolutely happy to be a part of it.
We are committed to supporting the STAC mission of eliminating human trafficking in our community. And just as our farmers have made the choice to not use labor which is not appropriate, you as consumers can choose as well. By shopping on the market, you know that the hands that have nurtured the food and harvested the food are the hands of free people.
Thank you so much. Now I'd like to introduce you to Susan Turner. Susan's a STAC board member, and she is the founder and co-owner of Food Glorious Food, an acclaimed established restaurant here in Tallahassee for over 35 years. Susan's an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, a fundraiser, a volunteer, a creative spirit, and someone I've adored working with. Susan is from Jasper, Florida, just like celebrity chef Art Smith. She graduated with her degree from the University of Florida. She taught for Head Start in Jacksonville and also taught elementary school for 5 years. She's been an editor for Tallahassee Magazine, food editor, of course, and owned her own catering business before opening Food Glorious Food in 1982. Food Glorious Food has won so many awards, including Best of Tallahassee, Best Outdoor Cafe, and several Florida Trend Golden Spoon Awards, including Best Taste of the South. Susan's recipes have been featured in many magazines, the New York Times and Gourmet, and her civic leadership is extensive. In addition to the STAC board, she served on many boards, and we are so fortunate to have her on our board. Susan?
Thank you so much, Robin. As Robin said earlier, Imagining Freedom is about being a conscious consumer, and that includes cooking with a conscience. This year, instead of being able to prepare a delicious display of traffic-free foods, we are online, but you'll still be able to learn why it is so important to become aware of what you are eating and drinking and where it was produced, where to buy ingredients you cook, and which restaurants and coffee shops support fair label practices, thus enabling you to support those businesses and take a stand against human trafficking. I'm thrilled to highlight our wonderful Red Hills Small Farm Alliance in this area, all local food purveyors and restaurants that have supported us this year. I baked a delicious chocolate chunk cookie using a candy chunk instead of chocolate chunks, eggs from Red Hills, and chocolate from Tony's Chocolonely and King Arthur flour, all ingredients that are human traffic free. Some of my favorite recipes have been posted online for you to enjoy, and all can be made with fresh, local, slavery-free ingredients from Red Hills. Now, let me tell you about my darling friend, Art Smith. When I told Art about STAC, he was shocked, and he said, I have to help. What can I do? I want to be involved. But you know what? Why not let Art tell you in his own words?
Hello, Chef Art Smith. Hey, everyone. It's so great to come to you with a very, very special mission. And that mission is for us to stamp out human trafficking. Survive and Thrive Advocacy Center is working really hard to support right here in our local community to rid our community of human trafficking. You know, in these times when people are suffering, children, adults, this is when people are at their really most vulnerable time. So come on, everybody, let's get around the table and let's celebrate humanity, but in a beautiful, beautiful, healthy way. And let's rid our communities and our world of human trafficking. God bless you all. And here's to food, and here's to the power of food and the magic. Thank you.
Now Art is going to make his yummy tabbouleh using ingredients from my hometown of Jasper. He's not only a wonderful chef, he is entertaining and so much fun to watch.
This comes from a recipe that I love very much that I had many times in the Middle East called tabbouleh. But I made it so that it was easier to make because it's sometimes hard to find ingredients. You know, I live in a little town of Jasper, Florida. There's about a few thousand people. Sadly, 30% of the population live under the poverty line. So we have limited resources. But we have a nice little grocery store called Hitchcock's. And if I can't find it in Hitchcock's, I just don't make it. Because I think it's important that we make food that we all can enjoy. You know, I absolutely love sushi. And what makes sushi wonderful is the rice. And how they make sushi rice delicious is they cook the rice and then they season it with vinegar. And that's what we're going to show you what to do. You take the warm rice and we're going to season it. You know, brown rice is a wonderful carbohydrate and it's really good for you. It's not as overly processed. And what's great about it is, and you can also use like black forbidden rice, which is good, a Himalayan black forbidden rice or red rice, any of those rices. Yes, I grew up in the South and I love white rice. And I've eaten a Creole or jambalaya with white rice. And, you know, my mother, we had grits and white rice, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some vinegar. Now, this happens to be white balsamic, which I didn't find this here, but what I love about it, it has a little sweetness to it. You can use apple cider vinegar. Just add a little bit of that, okay? While the rice is warm. The next thing I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil, okay? And then what I do after that, I'm just gonna toss it. Okay, you hear that? Our rest is ready. Then we can add a little more vinegar. You see the vinegar goes right in there, the flavor. And a little olive oil. Hello. What's better than delicious olive oil? And then I have some nice salt that I'll add in there. We can add pepper. And then what I wanna do now is I'm gonna cut up the vegetables. I start with my tomatoes, okay? All right, and then what we do, I'm gonna slice them. You know, I was going to chop this all up, but you know, my concern was, you think, is he a chef? I never see him using his knife. Well, I am a chef. I slice it and then I cut it like this. Perfect. Y'all noticing as I'm making this, you're noticing, do you see this? Do you see the knoll? Do you see the knoll? Okay, got great news for you. In 169-year history of Florida State University, they have created the first LGBT alumni board. And Chef Art was made a director. So I am celebrating that wonderful, we just add that right to our rice. I'm celebrating today. FSU, go Noles, go Noles. You know, this is a tough time for universities and colleges with everything going on. So with football and everything, but guess what? Our heart is there, is with you. And we're there, and we really appreciate you basically saying love is love is love and go Noles. Hey, would love that. Thank you. Okay, next thing we do is our cucumbers. Have y'all been cooking a lot through everything? You know, I think that, you know, I personally, to be honest with you, you know, kids don't really care that my kids don't care that I'm their daddy's a celebrity chef. They just like food. And my son today said, "Or what are we going to eat?" And then they're like, "Okay, let's have Pepe's." And I'm like, "Oh, well, maybe we should, save money and eat at home." And he goes, "Well, Poppy, let's have fajitas." So we're going to have fajitas tonight. Your kids like fajitas? And what's great about those is that they're wonderful. They're great protein. You know what? What would we do without the contributions of Mexico and its beautiful people and food and music? Thank you, Lord. Just put that all in there. Boom. Okay, do you think I'm a chef now the way I'm cutting this up? I hope you do. What we're doing is I'm chopping up a little jalapeno. Okay? We'll do a little dance. Remember the Casey and the Sunshine Band? Do a little dance. Make a little It's fun tonight. I love Casey and the Sunshine Band. Okay? And we'll just take this and chop it up. Chop, 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 chop. Make sure you don't add the seeds or you'll be hopping and dancing, okay? All right, add that in there. The next thing I'm gonna do is, okay, let's add our cilantro. I've washed this, I take the ends off, and then what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna sit and chop, chop, chop. We're adding this cilantro because it is, you want me to get a little knife action there, Look, is that good? We like that, okay? Okay, we'll do that, okay. Perfect. Just chop, 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 chop. But it's a wonderful, wonderful herb, and it has great flavor. And again, some people love it, some people don't love it. Okay. Lucas, what kind of questions do we have there? If people ask anything, I see hearts.
Chub it, chub it.
And then what I'm going to do is, you see here, I'm going to add some spinach. And I'm going to chop it up too in that. The spinach has got great flavor. Perfect.
Question.
Now, wouldn't it have been fun, huh?
Can you use any veggies?
You can use whatever veggies you want, and you can make it your own, okay? But the basic, now remember, I remember one time someone tell me, men don't eat rice salad. Well, I think they eat it if it tastes good, okay? I think that most rice salads are kind of bland. And I love risotto. And one of my most favorite risottos was made by a young chef who I love, Chef Adrian Di Barandinas, and he made a delicious lemon risotto, which I still remember, at a wonderful, wonderful place in Italy. And it was so delicious, and it was so simple but so delicious. And there, outside the wonderful city of Rome, we had this risotto. Well, okay, you see what I've done here? I'm gonna put that in there like that, okay? All right? Beautiful, right? Perfect. Now let me wash my hands. Okay. Let me wash my hands. And then what I'm going to do now is we're probably going to add a little more olive oil. In fact, all the olive oil. A little more vinegar. And then what makes a great salad in the summertime is lemon, fresh lemon. Now you can use lemon juice, bottled lemon juice, but it's just not the same. We'll take that. Do you think I'm like making a margarita salad here? Don't that kind of look like that? This is another great, cool contraption. Thank you, Kyle. Hey, everybody. You know what? It's becoming late summer and it's coming fall. Can you please send me some fun little emojis? Can you please tell me what you'd like to see Chef Art make? And because I would be very, very grateful, because quite honest with you, my creative juices are running thin. So let us know exactly what you'd like to see me make. As you can see now, I'm focusing on very simple things. And you know what you're thinking? You're a chef. Yes, I'm a chef, but I think making complicated food in a short period of time, it's just not that necessary. And who wants to fuss like that, right? But tell me something you'd love for me to make, and we'll make it. I was talking to Lady Gaga's father. Yes, I dropped his name. Yes, we're friends. And he said, why aren't you doing TikTok? I mean, I can barely get this out in 15, 20 minutes and do a TikTok. We did a TikTok for Pride and did a cake, which was amazing. But I want to tell you something. Those, in order for a TikTok to be great, they have to be well thought out. So if you want me to do a TikTok, let me know. But at the moment, I'm like, well, Lord Jesus, I don't think so. And I don't think I can talk that fast and work that fast. More lemon juice. Okay? Right? Okay, everybody. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this and I'm going to toss it. You see that? Isn't that beautiful? You can put chopped radish in here. Do you see me? Some chopped radish would be delicious. Very, very good. Isn't that beautiful? And I want to taste something. It tastes like summer. You can add more spinach in it if you like. Beautiful, huh? You agree? Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that nice? Any other questions, Lucas, we can get for people?
People ask if you eat potatoes.
Of course I eat potatoes.
What's your best recipe for potatoes?
You know what my favorite is? I have a wonderful friend, Domenica Catelli, and in my book, Back to the Table, she makes a wonderful sun-dried tomato scallop potato. And we do it with Yukon Gulls, beautiful. I also have a great mashed potato casserole too that you would like. I'm trying to think like, I don't eat it. One of my favorite things is it's like Lucas puts potatoes in a smart bowl and does them for 5 minutes and then smashes the hell out of them and adds butter and sour cream, and they're just amazing. They're real simple. They're just steamed in the microwave. Okay.
Crazy, because people never try rice in salad.
Never? Well, it's very popular. You see these are hearts of romaine. Okay, everybody?
This is my pig plate. Okay? Put my little lemons away. Forget that. All right? Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put some heaping tablespoons of this on there. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that nice? Look at that. It is so delicious. It is so refreshing. It's the perfect barbecue. I was just watching Richard Blaze make his wonderful little, I just put some of there. And it's really delicious. I'm just going to sit here and just put it on there because I'm going to sit and put it all over the place. Okay? Gorgeous. Beautiful.
Art, it looks delicious and really easy to make. Now it is your turn to make a difference throughout this program. You can contribute to STAC to help with our mission. It's easy to do. Use either the QR code or the website on screen to make a contribution to stop human trafficking in Florida. I would now like to introduce Christina Bailey from the International Rescue Committee, or the IRC. STAC and the IRC work together to support survivors of human trafficking in the Big Bend area, and we are so grateful for our partnership with them. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me and for that wonderful introduction. I really appreciate it, and I'm so happy to be here. The International Rescue Committee responds to the world's worst humanitarian crises, helping to restore health, safety, education, economic well-being, and power to people devastated by conflict and disaster. Here in Florida, the IRC supports refugees, unaccompanied minors, and survivors of human trafficking as they seek to improve their lives. My name is Christina Bailey, and I work alongside survivors of human trafficking, assisting them as they heal and rebuild their lives. The IRC is proud to walk alongside survivors who demonstrate their resiliency and willingness to move forward. We provide case management services that are client-centered, trauma-informed, and are culturally competent, ensuring that all survivors of human trafficking are provided with the tools and resources they need to reach self-sufficiency. Across Florida, we've supported over 500 survivors since we've established our anti-trafficking programs in 2003. In Tallahassee, we started to support survivors in 2019. We couldn't do this alone. It takes the community, partners, survivors, and volunteers to uplift the voices of our program participants. We are proud to partner with STAC, an organization that provides critical support to survivors and educates the community on how they can get involved and prevent human trafficking here in Tallahassee. Together, we are committed to continuing our mission of supporting survivors as they work towards healing and rebuilding their lives for themselves and for their families. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Faith Moore-Cruz. Faith is a dual board-certified family and emergency nurse practitioner, currently providing healthcare services at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital's Urgent Care Center. After receiving her Bachelor of Science in Nursing from the University of Florida and her Master's of Science in Nursing from Florida State University, Faith's dedication to the education and nursing profession were her driving force to pursue a doctoral degree in nursing. So Faith is a nurse and actually also a doctor. Faith is passionate about healthcare and advocating for those in need, and also Faith is the co-owner of a wonderful Tallahassee restaurant, Tally Mac Shack, a 4-time award-winning food truck. Along with her spouse and founder, Justin Cruz, they help Tallahassee enjoy delicious mac and cheese every day of the year. They've been giving back to the greater Tallahassee area through charitable efforts and were recently honored to receive the CCYS Tally Awards All Honoree Award for service to our community. Faith?
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being a part of this so important event today. We're all happy to have you all participating in this, and it means so much to us and so much to the victims of human trafficking. So my name is Faith Moore-Cruz, and I'm a nurse practitioner. I currently provide services at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital's Urgent Care Center, and I've been there for 6 years since moving to Tallahassee. So how did I get involved in the fight against human trafficking? My journey started back in 2014 when my husband moved here to pursue a graduate degree at FSU. Part of one of his applications for a crime analyst position was that he needed to write an essay describing human trafficking and the scope of the problem in the state of Florida. I, like every good spouse, was tasked with the task of proofreading his paper. When I read that paper, I was just astounded by the statistics. I had no idea this was happening here in Florida at that time, and it feels so naive. I really thought it was only happening in movies, like the movie Taken. I just didn't realize we had such a problem. I'd been a nurse for about 7 years at that time, and I then became very concerned. I started to dive into different resources, do my own little research on it, and my feelings shifted from one of concern more to one of guilt. I started thinking about all the people that I'd cared for in the past, and could I have possibly missed a victim? Could I have missed that opportunity to help someone? When I decided to pursue a doctoral degree in nursing a few years later, I knew that I needed to help with this problem. So what I did is I did a project in human trafficking, educating healthcare workers in the emergency department about what to look for when they're looking to care for victims, what to do if they were to encounter a victim. And basically what we did is STAC assisted in developing a training program, but not only developing a training program, but helping us create a protocol and a screening tool that we could use if we were to encounter a potential victim in our daily practice. We then got this approved for continuing education units, and we worked with the leadership department at TMH to create this training program. We now have protocols in place that the assistant nurse management can refer to if ever they encounter a victim. And we've gotten calls. STAC's gotten calls from TMH saying that, maybe we could look into this more. Maybe we could help somebody. So what I studied with this project was kind of the before and after of healthcare providers and their actual knowledge about human trafficking, perceived knowledge about human trafficking, and their confidence to detect and refer victims. And although the actual knowledge didn't change much, they perceived that they were more knowledgeable and they were much more confident in their ability to help others. This confidence is so important because if someone is confident in their ability, they're more likely to ask those questions and, start the ball rolling to helping someone that may not have had that opportunity before. So my challenge to you is to look at your current role. What are you involved in? Your current employment, your current education situation. Maybe you're volunteering. Maybe you're in community service. Think about your current role and what you can do to help victims of trafficking. Is there something that you could be doing better? Is there anything being done in your role? Human trafficking really intersects in anybody's life. And if we have our eyes open and we're aware, we can all work together to help fight this problem. I'm also a small business owner. My husband and I own Tally Mac Shack. And when we started our journey here in Tallahassee as small business owners, we knew that the community is so important to us. Tallahassee has embraced us, and we've embraced Tallahassee. And some of the things that we've done is just really made sure to give back to the community. As a small business owner, you could do something similar as well. One thing that we did was a guest bartending with our friends over at Happy Motoring. This was a great opportunity because it brought people into our restaurant that may never have been there, but it also was allowed STAC to get the word out to people that may have never heard of STAC or heard about human trafficking. And it really was a win-win for both of us. One thing being a board member with STAC has changed personally for me is my own consumer practices. I kind of went oblivious previous, just, buying whatever was the most affordable product out of need or frugality or whatever it was that was driving me. But now I realize the impact of my daily choices from a worldly perspective. You know, human trafficking, we've talked a lot here locally, but it's also happening worldwide. And by all of you attending this event today, it's a start in the right direction. If we can all start asking these questions, you know, where did our products come from? Where are these things coming from that we're buying? Who made them? We could all be one step closer to a better world and a world that's free of human trafficking. And thank you all for being here and taking the time to listen to my story.
Faith has given us some real-life examples of what can be done, of what she did, and maybe what you can do too. Susan and Chef Art talked about being conscious consumers, cooking with a conscience and understanding better where your food comes from. The other things that you can do, we've outlined in the program. There are 10 steps or 10 ideas, and I'd like to give you a few of the highlights of that now. First of all, and of course, buy and consume with a conscience. You can start by looking at all the donors, restaurants, and farms listed in our program today. The STAC website also has a great booklet for you to look at. You can go to the website slaveryfootprint.org and see how many slaves are working for you right now. You should know the human trafficking hotline, 888-3737-888. That's the National Human Trafficking Hotline, open 24/7, multiple languages, and can connect you all over the country with anti-trafficking organizations like STAC and other places where you can get help. You should know the signs of human trafficking and learn how to recognize human trafficking that you might see in the community and keep learning. We encourage you to share information. You can join our mailing list and share our mailing list with your friends. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. You can attend the meetings of our local coalition, the Big Bend Coalition Against Human Trafficking. You can contribute to STAC and our partners. I'd like to thank all of you for attending today and wish you all the best. Bye-bye.